Coming up to 9:43 on News Talk Breakfast. Now it's almost that time of year again, the back to school time of year again. You know it is certainly when the Rose of Tralee starts. Two surveys earlier this month by Barnados and the National Consumer Agency have indicated that stretched household incomes are making it increasingly difficult to meet the costs of the new school term. The NCA is putting the average cost of books, uniforms, stationery and PE kits at just under €500 per child at primary school and over €600 per secondary school student. Now, joining us in studio to give us some advice on how to make those costs less painful in the pocket is Aisling Kennedy, Woman's Way staff editor. Aisling, let's start with school books, because obviously very expensive for many parents. Can you save money on buying school books?
You can indeed. There's many ways you can do it. The main ones really would be book rental schemes in schools at the moment. A lot of schools around Ireland are doing this. So basically, if your child is starting school, go to the principal of the school and find out, first of all, are they doing the book rental scheme? And if they are, basically what happens is the school buys in all the books and then rents them out to parents over the year. And you pay a set fee of about €70 per year for your child, and then they get all their books in for the year, and then you return them at the end of the year, and once they're not lost or damaged or anything like that, that's fine. And also, as I'll shop around, a lot of different stores tend to put prices up when it comes to back to school time.
Yeah.
So if you go to certain stores, they might have cheaper books, and they shouldn't do it, but they do.
And what about buying online?
Yeah, again, buying online is a good way. There's places like at the moment, Eason's are doing good offers online. They're actually running an offer at the moment with eFlow, the Irish tolling provider company. And basically, if you log on now and you're part of eFlow Reward Club holder, and log on to easonschoolshop.com, you can get 10% off school books at the moment. So that's one good way of saving money on the books.
The advantage, just going back to the book rental scheme, is the advantage that the school can buy in bulk, or is the advantage that they can then use the books for future years, or is it a bit of both?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think in terms of primary schools, they can definitely use them for future years. Secondary schools, it's that bit more difficult, because generally from year to year the books tend to change, and that's quite an issue at the moment.
Yeah, which is probably unnecessary largely.
It is, yeah, and I think publishers are making a lot of money out of that at the moment, and there is a lot of initiatives to try and to combat that at the moment. I think there's a lot of people lobbying the government and trying to get behind schools so that parents aren't paying half as much money as they have to. But in terms of primary schools, definitely the book rental schemes are great, and it does help the children. It helps families as well save money, and you're getting to use the books over and over again. Okay,
let's talk about uniforms. Most primary schools have them. I think on balance it's a good thing. It takes the fashion stakes out of things or whatever. But a lot of schools go for quite individualistic uniforms. I mean, a crest and so on. That makes it harder to shop around, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, when that happens, there's not really a whole lot you can do in terms of trying to save money on buying the actual jumpers, say if they're crested jumpers. But I would say is that ask friends and families if their child has gone to the school the previous year, and if they've grown out of the school uniforms and they're still in good condition, you can get them, you can swap them with the family. Alternatively, what you can do is buy the shirts, the skirts, the trousers, things like that haven't got crests in local retailers or bigger stores like say Tesco's or Dunnes and things like that, and then get the curriculum, the actual jumpers with the crests or the gabardines or whatever it is in the boutiques that you have to go to. I mean, what you can do as well, you could ask your school if there's any possibility of sewing a crest onto a jumper. Now, I think most schools would probably say no to that, but there might be some schools that would say yes.
Would they actually say no?
I think the majority of schools would, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful there.
What about PE? Because a lot of children already have suitable PE wear, but again, is there a trend of schools saying you have to have a certain type, a certain brand or a certain colour?
There is, yeah. I know myself, even when I was in school, I had to get a particular PE outfit. But again, if that happens and you're finding that you're struggling as well, a lot of families do struggle with paying all these costs, you can apply for a lot of schemes and grants at the moment, and there's the back to school clothing and footwear allowance, and that covers PE costs as well. And if you're eligible for this, and generally it's families who are on, say, low incomes or on social welfare benefits, things like that. And if you are eligible for it, you can get up to €150 if your child is between 4 and 11 years old, or you can get €250 per child if they're older, 11 to 22, obviously if they're still in college for 18 to 22. And that can be covered with, you can cover your PE costs in that. And again, you can swap clothes if you have children again that have you have friends or families that have had their kids in the same school, that's another option again.
Okay, so just to sum up and to conclude, Aisling, advice for parents who are really struggling out there. You mentioned the back to school allowance. Other than that, the advice is what? Shop around, be innovative if you can. You mentioned the book rental schemes.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also the school books grant scheme that's available as well. And if you log on to www.welfare.ie or www.citizensinformation.ie, all these grants and schemes are available. And if you're eligible for them, they're brilliant. They'll help you on your way. And shop around and go and buy bits and pieces like pencil cases and shirts and trousers and things like that in maybe the bigger department stores, as they will be that bit cheaper, and then get what you need to get in the boutiques.
Okay, you're writing about this in the new issue of Woman's Way?
In this week's Woman's Way, yeah, which is out today. So I have a good 6-page feature on it, and there's loads of hints and tips.
Okay, Aisling Kennedy, Woman's Way staff editor, thanks indeed for joining us this morning.